Good evening, community. Thank you for having me here tonight. Distinguished guests, visitors from abroad. What a wonderful turnout. Evanston's a strong town. Like I said, we always push back. By no coincidence that Evanston had its first chapter of NAACP as early as 1918, just 9 years after the national organization established itself.
Well, a lot of press that's coming out here in Evanston, you don't understand that we are looking at this all over the country. I mean, it's reverberating all over the country, and indeed, perhaps over the world. There's something in the air. The whole nation is watching this city. History's already being made, but we're going to make more history.
It was time to lead in urgency. It was time to do something as radical as the oppression and discrimination, as the impact from the Jim Crow law and the redlining, something as radical as enslavement and torture and crimes of humanity. It was time to be unapologetic and uncompromising and bold.
The thing we found is that the work always took us to disparities that affected African Americans, even if it's a matter of ableism.
The idea and the urgency of now will bless our nation, our seniors, our children, and all people. Black, white, yellow, red, and brown, Republicans and Democrats, rich and poor, gay and straight, and we will all win reparations and deal racism a crushing blow. That's what it means to the NAACP.
All right. Yes, sir. All right. All right.
Compensation is a component of reparations under international law, and we're not going to sidestep that issue. But we know that compensation in and of itself will not bring us to full repair.
You know, we have something, Alderman, that's going to go down in the history books because it's going to serve as a blueprint, as a model for the pattern for what can be done to help to remedy, okay, the injustices, not only from the era of slavery, but all the way down to today as well.
As Martin Luther King said, there is no amount of money that can pay us for what has been done to us, but you can calculate the damage that has been done.
Push through into the bowels of ships, sardines, traveled in our filth for miles and miles and miles, not knowing where we're going, facing the brutality, yet we survived. Taken from the ships, doused with water. And sold to Master Smith in Virginia in 1619. Then taken to Puerto Rico, sold to Master Rios, to Cuba to Master Enrique, to Brazil, to Haiti, to Master Fouché, to Jamaica, yet we survived. Sold as commodities, stripped of all that we knew. The attempt to commodify us, dehumanize us.
Trouble I know. Nobody knows the trouble I know.
It is in our DNA, as Brother Kim said, just as the battery and the suffering is in our DNA, so is the resistance. And so today, it is not an accident that we find Robin Simmons, who has stood up in the tradition of the fight that has been waged by Alderman Holmes and others. In 2002, I had just come back from a conference in South Africa, against racism, xenophobia, and all kinds of other phobias, where we declared slavery, slave trade, and colonialism as crimes against humanity. And I came here at the city council and proposed a resolution. And one of the people on the front line with me was Alderman Rainey. Alderman Rainey stood up, and we built a consensus on the council, and we passed a resolution. And at that time, we said reparation is in order.
On me.
It's the idea that my great-grandmother dreamt. She didn't know how to articulate it, but she dreamt it. Born in 1858. It's the idea of those who come before, who not only spoke about liberation and freedom and the end of slavery and end of that. It's that idea that we step into and we enlarge that idea.